Welcome to Survivor SMP, a Minecraft SMP where weekly, one member will be voted by their comrades and sent into death, never to be seen from again, with two teams of worthy content creators and professional Minecrafters who will be the first to be voted away and who will be the last one standing. Make sure to watch the whole way through as it only gets more interesting. Before we start though, I of course have to ask you guys to make sure to hit the subscribe button and like, as it helps out the channel immensely. Also, make sure to go to the description where you'll find the Discord link so that you can be the first to see new videos. With that out of the way, we started spawn with everyone collected together. Unfortunately, not everyone was able to make the intro, but that's to be expected when you have a lot of content creators, each with their own time schedule and time zones. Anyways, take it away, Daniel.
Survivor SMP, 95% of this is normal SMP. However, in about a minute's time, we're about to be split into two teams. I will mention the 60 people on the SMP, but only need 40 of us here right now. Which is fine, I don't care about that.
We don't care.
Once a week, we're going to do a challenge. The two teams are going to go against each other. But we get to only 2 people left. That's in 12 weeks' time. And then we'll do one final challenge. The winner of that challenge wins Survivor SMP. It's as simple as that. Why you decide to vote, who you decide to vote for, that's entirely up to you.
Blue. He's getting 100%.
Not this one. Don't.
Guys, if you can't choose the one with the red, the only other option is blue.
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh.
And then,
Hey!
and well, Elin, good luck everybody, because I love my game.
Woo! Now that the intro is done, the entirety of teams both headed towards their respective side. I was placed on the blue team, which was going to be very interesting as I only knew Chris well. Everyone else, I didn't really know them at all. Although I know everyone is great, so I wasn't worried about it. After running south and getting lost for a bit, we eventually found a place to settle down. It was a small plains biome nestled between a swamp and a forest. Once we had placed all of our stuff down, we got started on our own projects. Sam ran off into the distance, who we'd see later come back and settle on top of the hill. We had a tree in the center of the base, which we decided to make the village tree, on which we put our selection wools on. Every time someone got voted off, we decided we'd remove the wool. My first order of business was going to grab some wood and some basic tools, along with placing down some sugarcane for a simple sugarcane farm along the side of the river. There's a large ravine nearby, so a lot of us decided to hop in to get our starting gear. Mining was even more dangerous, as every death your team has is compared to the amount of deaths that the enemy team has. Whoever has the most ends up with a disadvantage in the next challenge. We seriously don't want to die. And, well, there goes Tommy. This is an interesting start. After collecting full iron, I decided I wanted to do something a little bit more interesting than just mining.
No kidding. Hey, you got any extra for that stuff? God, you know that? I would hate that. No, I need it.
So I decided to go look for a village nearby so we can get trading going and good enchantments through librarians. I ended up finding one not too far away from our home base, grabbed everything that I could, took potatoes, carrots, and made sure to lock villagers away. I took down the coordinates so I could come back with someone to help me out bring them back. I also saw a dark oak forest nearby. I personally love building with dark oak, so I grabbed plenty along with some saplings and headed on my way home. When I got home, I placed down some crops that I'd collected and ended my stream. From there, I decided I wanted to just record.
Do you not see me collecting 2 stacks of seeds over here?
The next day, I hopped on while Get Owned was, and we decided to head back to the village to transport some villagers back to our house. Although we were discussing coordinates in proximity chat, and while we were doing that, we didn't realize someone was lurking near us, because as soon as we got to the village, we had found Salty had overheard our coordinates and burned down the majority of the village. Fortunately, he didn't kill the villagers, but he still definitely put a large target on his back by doing something like that. We didn't have too much iron, and we couldn't use the nether quite yet, so for now, all we could do was boat the villagers across the overworld. This was going to be quite a pain as there's a massive mountain range between the village and our base. We needed a piston to get them to higher levels. Fortunately, Salty appeared again and gave us a redstone block and a piston, in sorrow for screwing us over. We were still annoyed with him, but he definitely has started to make a better name for himself. Anyways, he left and it was time for us to cross a river and a mountain range. We decided to get the villagers to a high altitude and just make a massive land bridge, so we didn't have to use the piston anymore. We knew there was a swamp near our base, so we could drop the boats at the end in the swamp and boat back. Only problem was we had to get them higher up first. I will admit, we took the dumbest way of getting them up, but I mean it works. It doesn't matter that it took 3 times as long, because we did it our own way. Anyways, we got them to the top of the bridge using this completely scuffed method, and then we built a massive bridge where we ran into the mountain. While I dug through the mountain, Andrew started bringing back one of the villagers closer. I dug through the mountain and then continued the path further. It reached the swamp where we could drop the villagers in and boat them the rest of the way. Now that everything was complete, we were able to bring them all the way home. We finally had the villagers. We got them inside of a pit so they couldn't move around, and gave them some beds and food so they'd begin to breed. We needed more. Off camera, I ended up constructing a simple house for them, which would become our trading hall. Now that we had the villagers in a good spot, I just sat and collected a ton of emeralds via trading sticks to Fletchers and then trading emeralds to librarians to get enchanted books. While I did this, our team had done a ton of mining, so they had gotten me some diamond armor, which I quickly enchanted up with the really good enchantments. Around now, it's time for the first challenge. First challenge was a game of bingo. Both teams had to collect everything that was on the board. Whoever collected the most items in 2 hours or finished the board first won. It got pretty tense, especially because PvP was turned on and you could kill outside of the starting area. Everyone started with some food. Unfortunately, with all of our deaths, we had the disadvantage this time around. But because we had fewer players able to make it to the event, that was just considered our disadvantage. My first strategy was to run back to the base. We couldn't pull stuff out of our chests, but we could use what was on the ground. So I used our farms for food, and also to make cake, which was one of the items we needed to grab. As I was running back, I got intercepted by the one, the only Zoe. Holy crap, stone axes do so much damage with no armor. He too hit me, and I was back to the starting area. He got all of that food and the cake that I had made. This was a huge setback. I reconvened with my teammates, and while I was trying to get new stone tools, Salty came out of nowhere with full iron armor. This is gonna be a rough challenge.
Yeah, but none of them are in a PvP-able area.
That does happen.
If you consider not flying.
That is whack.
After the challenge, it was very obvious that we had lost. Their team had taken complete control over the nether and secured some insanely difficult items such as pig step. We lost, which meant it was time to vote someone off. Unfortunately, because the player we voted off was completely inactive, there was no ceremony for it, but it was done through Discord. Next challenge, we needed to absolutely whoop them up. In all honesty, between these two challenges, I didn't get on the server once as it was midterms week for me, so not much progress was made at our base, and this is the same for a lot of our members as well. The next challenge was a parkour challenge, but not the same kind of one as you might think. It was a repetition challenge. Who could keep a pace and do the exact same thing for 30 minutes straight? We had to do 100 jumps back and forth, all of them 2-block jumps, so you can't just sprint through them. All to get a piece of wool at the end and return it to a hopper in the center stage. I swear, Daniel is secretly a sadist when he designs these challenges because holy was this obnoxious.
We're the only ones who listen to instructions.
I can hear everyone. Help, please.
I would
You're
like
right.
to make sure that the timer has already started, so you can go whenever you're ready.
Set a timer for 30 minutes.
There's also like a lot of pressure as you get like feeling, start feeling pressure.
That was
This is the moment, boys.
Alright then. So I can tell you, it was close.
Oh no.
One of us got 16, one of us got 18.
Oh.
So by 2 wolves, red team, you have lost.
That's right, we brought it back and got the dub by 2 wolves. They now had to pick someone to vote out, which, surprise surprise, it was their inactive player as well. After the challenge, Daniel had us rank our players in a book, which we had meta discussion about, but at the end of the day, it didn't really matter because we handed him the book and it turned out we were actually matching ourselves against the other team, in duels. And I was about to verse one of my closest friends on the server, Grayscaped. But to see how that turns out, you're gonna have to wait till the next video. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next episode of Survivor SMP.